The next developer to see if they can handle the heat is Toosharn from Southsea Homes. But can his pitch spark interest from the deal makers? Let's find out. Toosharn, welcome along to the deal.
Thanks, Ed.
Now, you've been listening to the Property Academy podcast for a while. What's it like being here on the deal today?
Feels pretty good.
Okay, and we've got two new deal makers on this season, Mickey, Vanessa, along with the Prince of Property, Andrew. Who do you think is going to be the toughest deal maker today?
Maybe Mickey, based on my conversations with him on the phone. Sounds like a bit of a tough nut to crack, but yeah, we'll give him a go, see what happens.
And what makes the Duke of Deals such a tough nut?
Oh, he just didn't want to do too much listening. And I talked to him on the phone, so yeah.
You think they might be ready for some more listening today?
Well, I hope so, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, we'll let you go up there and we'll talk to you afterwards. Good luck, Toosharn. Let's recap what's at stake. In a tough property market, developers are struggling to sell. Opes Partners is one of the only companies that investors trust when buying new builds. If Toosharn can get 2 yeses from our 3 deal makers, he'll become one of Opes' recommended developers. These properties and others in the future can then be seen by hundreds of Opes Partners clients.
Good afternoon, deal makers. I'm Toosharn Hazard from Southsea Homes Limited. And today I'll be presenting to you our 65 Ruskin Street development. Our 65 Ruskin Street development consists of 8 units. We have these 3 townhouses at the front, and at the back is an apartment block consisting of 5 walk-up apartments. The townhouses at the front are all 2-bed. 2 of them are 3-storey with 1 ensuite bedroom on each of the top levels. So the estimated rental yield for these properties is $550 for these 2 beds at the front, with the smaller one being, I think it was $530 a week. And with the apartments at the back, the 3 beds were $650. The 2 beds were $530, and the 1 bed was $480, giving a rental yield of about 4 to 4.8%.
An assured start from the newbie developer, but can his pitch stand up to scrutiny?
Happy to take any questions.
So Toosharn, the townhouses, the 2 bedrooms, they're around the $650 mark?
Yeah, $649, yeah, and $639 for the smaller one.
And the apartments, so the 1 bedrooms they start at $519 and
Yep.
they go right the way up to $799 for the 3 beds.
That's right.
It's quite expensive.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not that bad compared to a couple of years ago. I mean, we were paying higher than that for a lot less in Addington a couple of years ago.
Toosharn, what's R&B Build? What's their involvement in this?
So they'll be our preferred building partner. So they'll be the main contractors.
Is it you've signed a contract with them?
No, not yet, no.
Hi Toosharn,
Hi.
I'm Vanessa.
Hi, Vanessa.
Why did you choose 65 Ruskin as a site?
Well, yeah, interestingly, this property's been in our family for over 40 years. So it's actually the property I grew up in. But yeah, it is an old villa, so it does need redeveloping.
Are you biased because you lived there?
Well, yes, because because it's we already own it.
Toosharn, how many completed developments have you? What's your track record like?
So 0. So we'd be looking to get our first development off the ground. We've got 3 in planning at the moment at various stages. But I guess as we're not, the builder, the main contractor, we can rely on the track record of the main contractor. R&B, so they do have about 20 years in Christchurch and are quite well regarded. They've built a lot in the area. But in terms of my experience, I have done several papers at ARA related to construction management, so I'd like to think I do know what I'm talking about a little bit.
Because you've done some papers.
Yeah, because they're the same papers that architects do. So we're talking residential construction, commercial construction, building law and so forth.
Nothing like a bit of time in the saddle though. There is a lot of grey area with development, a lot of unforeseen things that occur. How can our clients be assured that those won't be missed?
Well, I mean, for a start, you've got R&B who are doing the build, so I think they're a pretty safe pair of hands. I don't think anyone's going to argue with 20 years experience, number of completed builds behind them.
Have they had anything go wrong?
Oh yeah, I'm sure they have.
Do you know?
Oh, I think there was something about some titles getting delayed because of issues at Lynn's during COVID times, stuff like that.
Resource consent. They didn't get that. They had to change because of resource consent. So investors signed up for a product that then changed.
Is that something that you're aware of with their builds?
Yes.
So yeah, okay. So I'm not aware of the specific issue that you're talking about, but yeah, I mean, from time to time there are issues.
Are investors paying a premium because another entities in there, R&R builders, clipping the ticket along the way? It seems like they are clipping the ticket, you're clipping the ticket, and then that's why there's a higher purchase price?
That's a good question. Well, primarily no, but there is a bit of that. But that's just because we're not a builder developer. So it's inevitable because obviously the builder wants a margin and we want some margin as well. So yes, so we can't compete right at the bottom of the market, but we do have some unique features in this development that justify the price point.
Tell us about those.
Sure. So we have central heating throughout the development, which is radiated hot water from Central Heating New Zealand, which is quite different from just the standard one or two heat pumps in your units. We also have an innovative shared solar system, and this isn't just your one or two panels on your little townhouse. This is a 30 kilowatt system that is on pretty much all the buildings.
So these are going to have a body corporate?
Yes.
What are the body corporate fees going to be?
Between 3,300 and 5,100 a year.
3.5 to 5.5?
3,300 to 5,100. Most of the two beds are about 4,100. The three beds were about 5,000, and the one bed was around 3,000.
So about 2 months worth of rent just to pay the body corporate?
2 months of rent just to pay the body corporate. Trying to do the calculation in my head.
It's about $2,000 a month.
$2,000 a month. Yeah, 2 months. Yep. That includes insurance. So, and that's a big deal. And also your ongoing maintenance costs are going to be lower because you don't have to maintain your own roof.
How much does someone normally pay for maintenance on a roof?
Well, they'd have to get it washed once a year or do what the manufacturer recommends.
Did you wash your own roof last year?
Oh, I didn't. I don't.
Do you do that though?
Sorry?
Did you get your roof washed last year?
Me? No.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I didn't. I don't.
Right.
I don't live in my own house though. I live in a rental.
When
so-
did you last wash your roof?
I let the rain do it.
Well,
Same as your car.
yeah. So that's another advantage of having a body corporate. I mean,
Your roof gets washed.
well, you get your external maintenance done for you.
Toosharn, what's your day job?
Property developer.
So that's your 100% full time?
Sure.
How do you survive?
I have rentals. So I'm also an investor. So I've also been a property manager. So I know what it's like to rent properties. I know what it's like to manage properties. I know what it's like to invest in properties, and I know what it's like to develop properties now as well.
Well, you don't, not yet.
Well, no, not all the way there yet, Andrew, but getting there.
When you say not all the way there,
Yes.
how far through are you?
Well, we are about to start building.
So you've got building consent?
We've got resource consent for this project. Building consent should be due in about July this year, and then we hope to start building around October.
And based on your experience as a property manager, who will the likely tenant be for this?
Sure. So in this area, you have workers in the Sydenham industrial zone, which is close by. You also have the hospital about under 2 k's away. And you can go straight up the cycle lane to the hospital as well. You have CBD workers, you have retail workers in Addington and Sydenham.
Toosharn, I may have not lived in Addington for 40 years, but I sure have sold a lot of property in there over the last 12. Talk to me about how you got to where you got to on your pricing.
So basically, we look at the market and, look at what sort of stuff's around and how much it's going for. And then we, do have to factor in a little bit of up-speccing because we can't compete right at the bottom of the market.
So with regards to the price, I'm just going to be really brutally honest with you.
Yeah.
On the 2 bedrooms, I think you are 70 to 80,000 above market.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So what you might see available
Yeah.
and what's actually selling
Yeah.
are 2 very, very different things.
I've just sold one, so.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah.
right. One day of rain doesn't make it a wet winter, Toosharn.
I've just got some happy investors that have just pretty much about to put in an offer on that one.
Oh, so it's not sold.
So it's not sold, but it's under offer.
Okay.
So 70 or 80,000. I mean, they're getting ripped off, Mickey.
What happens when they get a valuation?
A valuation. Well, the valuation's probably going to be about what we priced them at, and I'd be happy to buy any one of them. And that's another thing. So,
Well, then why are you selling them?
well, we can't afford to keep them all. If we could, maybe we would, Andrew. But we'll be happy to keep 1 or 2.
Which one's the good deal? Because you've got here, the yield's 4.8.
Yeah.
That's not the yield for any of them other than 1, right?
Yes, from 4 to 4.8.
4, yeah.
Yes.
4's very low for Christchurch.
Well, 4 is only the 3-bed, one of the 3 beds.
Yeah, but the average
So-
is 4.35.
For Christchurch?
No, yours.
Yeah.
And what is it in Christchurch?
The average, in Christchurch, what is it?
Yeah, what is the average yield in
I
Christchurch?
don't know, what is it?
It's better than these are.
Oh, what is it?
You'd be in that area, I would expect, by a fair price, 4.5 to maybe 5% at the moment.
Well, 5% really.
Yep.
Well, go buy the 5% one. That's all good. We're going to sell ours, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me.
You're dealing in the sandpit, Toosharn. This is Addington, Spraydon, Waltham, Sydenham, you name it, all around there. That's my bread and butter. And to give you just one example of pricing is 377 Selwyn Street, which there are 8 units, of which all 8 are sold. The cheapest in there was 559 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom car park, 68 square metres. The most expensive in the development was 589, 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 74 square metres with a car park.
It's going ahead regardless of whether they sell or not before the construction starts. When construction starts, the more construction that's happened, obviously the more certain the project is. So
let me ask you this.
Sure.
You said before that you've got the position to maybe keep 1 or 2 units.
Yep.
What happens if you do draw down this funding and you haven't sold the other units?
Yeah, as I said, we sell them along the way.
Yeah, what if they don't sell though?
So at the end, if they don't sell, worst case scenario is we'll have probably a couple of units that we'll keep and we'll probably just rent out the others.
No, but you said that you're in the position to keep 2 of them.
Yeah, long term, yeah.
So then what the developers, the funders, going to want their money back?
The funders want their money back.
And you haven't sold them, so what do you do?
Well, in that case, you're going to have to refinance them once they're built, right? And then you're going to have to put them onto a mortgage and rent them out.
That's not going to work.
Or you can sell them once they're built. I mean, if you really had to.
So you fire sell them at that stage. And
Well,
the people
I
that
mean-
got in early are now losing money because you've got to fire sell them, or your funder is selling them off at bottom prices.
Well, you wouldn't want to do a fire sale.
No, of course you wouldn't,
No.
but they will.
Well, no, they won't, because you would refinance it with a bank
Right.
because they're already built, right, at that
You're
stage.
assuming that you can.
Yeah.
So let's talk through
So if we can't, we rent them.
non-assumptions.
So even in the worst case scenario, we'll have enough money to pay the interest on the loan.
For how long?
Indefinitely, assuming that they're rented, right?
What if they're not?
Well, if they're not, then you're in trouble. But I mean, at the moment, the market's red hot, right? So I mean, the rental market's red hot.
Here's one for you. The trend is your friend till the bend at the end. You ever heard that, Toosharn?
No.
Everyone thought the market was real hot, and then it wasn't.
It doesn't matter, Andrew. I mean,
It does matter.
You can still rent them, mate. If the price is not $5.50 a week, then it's $5.30 or whatever. At some point, someone rents them, so you still get money back to pay.
But what I'm concerned about is if you're left holding half of these things and you're either selling them at a discounted rate or you're renting them at a discounted rate because you're desperate, what happens to those investors that have bought the other ones that are now competing with you?
It's the same as what would happen for any development like this, because pre-sales.
No, it's not. No, it's not, because
Well, you can't guarantee pre-sales.
a lot of people get the pre-sales. They guarantee them by pricing them right, Toosharn.
Well, it is what it is.
What do you mean? What is it?
Well, I mean, you're talking scenarios that are unlikely to happen, and if
No,
they,
that's not. That's completely
they happen
incorrect.
a lot.
well,
Developers
Why don't you go out to
Okay,
Riccarton and check
so-
out the Williams Corporation development that's
What's
still
that?
sitting there? Why don't you go check out the Williams Corporation properties out in Riccarton that are still half unsold? Are you basing this on R&B's feedback to you because they want to sign a contract with you?
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So they've got a complete vested interest in telling you how good the market is.
Well, no, but we were talking about whether units, what stage they're selling at. So I do believe them when they say that they're selling after construction has started.
So your entire basis that these are going to sell is based on R&B telling you that they have sold some themselves.
No. It's based on just thinking about it logically. I mean, when do properties sell?
Thinking about it doesn't sell a property.
They sell, the more sure a buyer is that the project's going to go ahead, it gives them more certainty. So they sell once the construction started because they can drive by the site and see that.
Well, if that were true, then there wouldn't be finished stock in Riccarton sitting there being rented out by developers.
Yes, that's true. So,
Well, why is that sitting there and these are going to sell?
Well, at some point
Well, they've been 2 years and they're a good, strong brand. Your brand hasn't been around.
I'm just going to switch things up a bit here, but can you talk me through what your pre-settlement process would look like for potential investors?
pre-settlement process.
Leading up to settlement, what would the investors expect to receive in communication from you? What do you need to do to get it to that point?
Sure. So after they'd signed up and we'd got their deposit into our lawyer's trust account, so we just keep them updated about how the build's going and whether there's going to be any delays or what stage the construction's at and that sort of thing, and just keep them updated along the way.
And how many times are you going to do that?
Oh, I would say at a minimum monthly, or at the significant stages, or when they asked us, send them a few pictures, visit the site, that's it.
There's a few more steps to it, so keep going.
Well, yeah, I'm not familiar with whatever the steps are around that time, then, we do those as we get there. I'm not, as I say, I haven't actually done that stage yet, so I'm sure.
Didn't do that paper at ARA.
I'm sure well, they didn't have any property development specific papers, so I did my best, Andrew, but, hey, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, the difference is we don't want our clients dealing with your learning process.
Do you think you should be doing 3 straight off the block?
No, we're not doing 3 straight off the block. We're planning 3, but we've got a number that we've got a number to do. But obviously we're only doing them when it makes sense to do them. So one of them is a lot bigger than this one, and we're not doing that until we get the right level of pre-sales.
Who's we?
Our company.
Who's our?
My brother and I.
Who's your brother?
My brother is Arjun.
What's he do in this? What's his role?
He's 50% shareholder with his wife, and he's a co-director. And he's based in Auckland. I'm based in Christchurch. I'm the man on the ground. He does some accounting stuff. He helps me with other decisions around. He runs his own business.
What's that business?
It's a coffee liqueur company called Quick Brown Fox.
Has he got the skills 50% of the skills to help with this development?
He might have about 15% of the skills, and I've got 85. But he's don't edit that out. He's a valuable partner. So yeah.
What made you and your brother decide to start developing?
Well, Andrew, it all basically started when my dad's rental burnt down because the tenant left the old air fryer going, and then me and my brother thought, right, what are we going to do with this land? And that's how our property development story started about 3 years ago now.
Because of a faulty air fryer, you became a developer?
Yep, accidental developers. Yep, that's it.
When did Seashore become incorporated?
When did our company become incorporated? About 3 years ago. About 2 years, 11 months ago, maybe. Yeah.
Why is there a delay between then and now? Why has it taken us 3 years to get to this point?
This wasn't the first project we started planning. So this project has only been conceived and started planning probably, around a year ago.
What happened to the other one?
The other one, we haven't achieved the amount of pre-sales that we need. So
I thought they had just happened.
No, the one that we started first, that actually took a very long time to get resource consent because the council wanted to cut out all my car parks.
How many pre-sales did you get?
For what?
The previous one.
We haven't got any yet.
For the previous one?
For the previous one.
So 0 pre-sales across all the developments?
Yes.
One pending. Maybe
one pending. So, and the other one we haven't launched yet. So, yeah, off the 2, 0, but one pending for this one, and the other one we don't launch until we get the right level of pre-sales because it's too big.
I don't understand that. How do you get pre-sales without launching it?
No, we have launched it, but we didn't get any
Am I hearing things, or did he say we haven't launched it?
No, Andrew.
I don't think he sleeps at night.
I said I had.
I would have.
We haven't launched the third one. The first
Just
one.
the first one. Just the first one.
Yeah.
No
So
pre-sales on that, but you have launched it.
We did launch it.
Yeah.
We didn't get any pre-sales.
Yeah.
Didn't get resource consent.
And now we've given it off to the agents to
How are
market.
they going?
Well, they only just relaunched it probably about just this week actually. Yeah.
And did they give you any guidance on pricing for those ones?
They said those prices, we'll work with those prices. So
You didn't have to move
It's-
on the prices?
no,
Or you didn't want to
Was
move?
the
well,
is
didn't
the
have
price
to and
that,
didn't want to.
is the price that
We've
they've
already
listed-
moved on those prices from what we launched
So
them
you
at,
have
Vanessa.
moved on the price.
We've moved on those prices. We started them off a bit higher than what they are now. Yeah. Yeah. But as I
Please don't
say,
tell me you're moving. Yeah.
but that development is is completely different to this one.
Hey, fortunately, by the time we finish interviewing them, the prices will be about right.
It doesn't matter if I don't sell them to you. I sell them to someone else. It doesn't. It's no skin off my back. Not at all. I mean, as I say, we're going ahead anyway. So it's just your investors miss out. Big deal.
Toosharn, thank you very much for your time today. I do have concerns about your lack of experience. I do have concerns that we don't have a process down at the coming to completion. I do have concerns that it's not going to necessarily be fit for purpose at the time for property investors. But mostly I do have concerns about your track record so far with 0 sales after 3 years. I mean, you really are an optimist, but for that reason, I'm going to say no deal.
Thank you.
I love the area, Toosharn. It's popular. It's close to the city. I don't mind the look of the development either. It's quite pleasing. However, I just feel we're on different planets when it comes to pricing. And for you to work with us, we've got to be much more aligned. So for that reason, it's a no deal for me.
Thank you.
It was very brave coming on here today as a newbie developer. And I do applaud your optimism. The challenge is, investors want to have certainty, and not just around numbers, but around who's going to be delivering the product. You've got a good builder behind you, but a lot of Vanessa's questions that you couldn't answer shows that you don't know what you don't know yet. And you'll get there if you carry on developing. But it concerns me the level of optimism that you have so far when you haven't had the experience to back that up. The yield doesn't work on these, so the cash flow won't work. Interest rates would have to come down drastically for this to work for an investor. So I just don't see it as a good investment. So unfortunately, I'm not going to do a deal today, but I think you should go out there and maybe partner up with a developer that you can actually learn a bit from and actually see the experience right the way through.
A tough day on the deal. Toosharn leaves without Opus partners recommending his properties. Although he knew most of his numbers, it was not enough to get the backing from our 3 tough deal makers. He leaves with a few wise words from the Prince of Property, but ultimately it may be back to the drawing board.
Toosharn, well done on a great presentation.
Thanks, Ed.
After today, are you still an optimist?
Sure. Yes, I am.
And what makes you so optimistic?
Well, I mean, I know that we can get these sold. I know that they're going to be a great product, and we're doing it regardless. So, yeah, no qualms at all.
Yeah, and you said to Andrew that if he could find a property that gave a 5% gross yield, he should go and buy that instead.
Yeah.
Did he get under your skin a little bit?
Oh, he was trying to. He was trying his best, but yeah, I thought I stood up pretty well.
And what's next for you guys at South Sea Homes?
Well, we'll keep on going. I mean, I put my sales cap on and do my best. And as I say, we'll start construction later this year and get them built. And I'll basically learn from the experience, won't I? Yeah.
So it's a no deal today, but we wish you all the best and thanks for coming on the show.
Awesome. Thank you, Ed.
To see all Dealmaker approved properties, go to thedeal.co.